every color we unite, together we shine, bring the light. Through stormy weather, through the pain, with open hearts, we'll break the chains. It's you and me, we'll stand so tall, in the rainbow's embrace, we'll never fall. Hand in hand, we'll share the dream, a tapestry of love, woven at the seams. With every hue our voice is strong, together is one, where we all belong. It's you and me, we'll rise above, in the rainbow's embrace, we spread our love. In every corner of the earth we sing, a symphony of hope that unity brings. With every color, let our love soar, together as one, forevermore.
Good evening and welcome to the Universal Rainbow Faith Church right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Paula Sadler, founding minister and president here at URF, and welcome to our Sunday, September 14th, 2025 live stream. So grateful to be here with all of you on YouTube and Facebook and back on TikTok. We're so sorry that we missed you last week. For those on TikTok, we had a problem with our tablet, and it was just powered down. So you can see our service that we had last week. Just go to our YouTube channel under our sacred services and check out last week's if you missed it. So grateful to be back with you on all of our socials. And we have a wonderful program lined up for you tonight. And so I hope you enjoyed our opening song. That was Embracing Togetherness, our URF anthem. And welcome, beloveds. Today we gather in sacred courage and truth. Compassion is not passive, it is action. It is a bold and holy force. And this week's message is rooted in truth-telling, sacred justice, and calling out oppression in all forms, as expressed in our latest blog post. If you haven't seen them, Silencing Truth, Rewarding Hate, the Double Standard in America's Culture of Speech, and From Dictators to Today, The Cost of Hate and Call to Love. Our URF mission statement: Universal Rainbow Faith is a sacred spiritual home where LGBTQIA+ people and allies are fully affirmed, celebrated, and protected. We believe that gender, love, and identity are divine expressions of the Creator. Our mission is to uplift, heal, and empower individuals through spiritual truth, radical inclusion, and sacred community. And we are activating the rainbow light of love to affirm the sacredness of every person, especially those long denied or excluded or erased. We exist to heal spiritual trauma and celebrate LGBTQIA+ divinity and restore dignity to all people across body, mind, and spirit. We affirm the activating presence of sacred power within us. We are the living light of transformation, resilience, and divine justice. Together we rise with love, truth, and purpose. And let us take a few moments to just center ourselves in our centering breath practice this evening. Wherever you're at, just get comfortable. Place your feet on the floor if you're able to, or any comfortable position, your spine straight. And let us take a deep breath in, breathing in truth and holding that. And exhaling out fear. Let's take another long, slow, deep breath in, breathing in courage and holding that. And as we exhale, exhaling out silence. And let's take another long, slow, deep breath in, knowing that we are sacred and we are seen and we are heard. And holding that breath. Feeling that all through your body, from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. And exhaling out, releasing all fear, anxiety, tension, knowing that you are here for a reason, for a sacred and divine purpose. And that today we are going to be truth-telling, expressing sacred justice, and calling out oppression. And our announcements for this week. We do have our new blog post, and I did misspoke earlier. The title of our blog post is Silencing Truth and Rewarding Hate, the Double Standard in America's Culture of Speech. Actually, let's make sure that that is actually our title. And you can see our blog post at universalrainbowfaith.org. And it's all the way in the bottom of our homepage. We do have our blogs. And yes, I did want to make sure that that was correct. So we have Silencing Truth, Rewarding Hate, the Double Standard in America's Culture of Speech. And From Dictators to Today, The Cost of Hate and Call to Love. These new posts expose systems of control, censorship, and supremacy while offering a loving path of truth and reconciliation. So I invite you to please read and share and reflect. September, our spiritual focus is compassion and sacred truth. This is on our Google Calendar, on our website. And so September is the month of compassion and sacred action, knowing that each Sunday this month, we are diving into speaking truth even when it's uncomfortable, calling out injustices as an act of divine love, and uplifting the oppressed while healing the oppressors. Know that your voice and heart are needed more than ever now. So let's activate compassion as our revolutionary act. Our upcoming services and spiritual study. We have September 26th, The Power of Forgiveness and the Death of Illusions. September 29th, Services of Sacred Memory, Names We Must Never Forget. And our ongoing spiritual study with the Nature of Miracles, our sacred text, continues after our live stream. So grab a copy at Amazon as a paperback, hardcover, or ebook. And also September 23rd is Bisexual Day of Awareness. And do you want to join our church or volunteer? You can become a URF member at universalrainbowfaith.org. And you can sign up for your contributions to make ongoing or one-time amount and get your letter of membership and also your letters of exemption for children, for teens, for adults, for students, and in the workplace, and also our international letters of exemption as well. We're so grateful to be able to provide that service, protecting all of our members in our faith. And to help us keep the lights on, you can give online on our donation form and also get instant tax receipts for your tax deductions through Tithely. We're so grateful to have that available. And like, share, follow, and shine with us at universalrainbowfaith.org and all of our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. We thank you for tuning in, liking, and sharing. And with that, you'll also get all of our updates as well. Those are all of our announcements for this week. We do have our Divine Guardian of the Month. That is Saint Marcia P. Johnson, the Sacred Revolutionary. Her legacy calls us to act with fierce compassion and radiant truth. You can see all of our Divine Guardians at universalrainbowfaith.org and their special days and times and colors and their spiritual message that they give to us. And our children's message for the day, for all of our young people watching, for our children, young adults, and teens who will also be viewing this later, we want you to know that your voice is sacred. Your voice is holy. You are seen, you are loved, and you are heard. And we are here to protect you and uplift you to become the greatest expression of that which you already are, and the beautiful you that is waiting to be shared with this world in truth and in power and in love and in light. And we encourage all of our children and young people to speak up and believe in their worth. So let us have an affirmation. I speak up in truth and I believe in my worth. I speak up in truth and I believe in my worth. And I am safe and protected. And so it is. Amen. And we have our weekly sacred reading from the Nature of Miracles. You can get your copy on Amazon. And from page 97, Spirit says, do as the Creator does. Live through divine actions. As the rain falls to the ground, it does not ask of it to be there or to descend from the heavens, but it does so with grace. The winds carry it hither and thither, and so it gracefully accepts its mission, and does so with love as it comes to the earth and gives of itself to the soil of the earth. It nourishes and gives of itself so that all of humanity may benefit. All plants need water, and humans, and animals. And so the rain gives of itself endlessly, as we are asked to as well. To be like the rain and to accept our flight down from heaven and not fight that. We are here as a gift from the Creator to accept our mission and nourish the earth with our body, mind, and spirit, and to give of our love. It is endless, and our cups runneth over with the lifeblood of our God endlessly, forever and ever. Amen and amen. And do you accept your mission in life to be a tool for love, for God's love? That's from page 97 in the Nature of Miracles. And so we've certainly had a lot going on this past week. On September 10th, there was the unfortunate murder of Charlie Kirk. And wherever you may stand on your thoughts about his philosophies and his words, one human life taken is too many. And it's really thrown our country and the world into a tailspin as we look at the rise of Christian nationalism and also supremacy and those systems of oppression. It's not easy to tell the truth and to speak the truth in such opposition, and when there is such violence that we've seen on all sides. And so, as we look at that, we have to give our love for the healing to take place. Otherwise, we will continue just to see the violence and the death, not only in the United States, but all around the world. This is not an isolated incident. And it is really calling us to be the healers that are in what is needing to be healed. And so I do have a special message for all of our viewers and listeners, and to those who will hear this and who are followers of Charlie Kirk, and also all of those in the LGBTQI plus community and our allies. And it has not been an easy week, for this has fallen on the eve of 9/11, another disastrous moment in time for our country and the world. And for me, it's a very poignant moment because my book, The Nature of Miracles, was written after 9/11 as a call to healing of our country and the world, and for spiritual enlightenment and awareness. and for the opening of unconditional love in the hearts of all, so that we may move beyond all of that violence and harm that was caused then and we continue to see now. And so this is a very interesting time that we're living in at this very moment, and how we're seeing history repeat itself in many ways. And we are being called to move forward to grow our awareness of love in all of these ways. And so this is my message of compassionate truth. It is in one of the blog postings from our site. To those who have followed Charlie Kirk or feel drawn to the Christian nationalist movement, I write to you not in anger but in love, not to condemn you, but to call you back to the deepest truth of God's heart. I know many of you sincerely believe that you are standing for God, for family, for freedom. You believe you are protecting the country you love. You believe that you are guarding what is sacred. I honor your desire to be faithful. But I must also speak the truth. The words and actions of Charlie Kirk and of the Christian nationalist movement he helped lead have caused great harm. They have divided families. They have pushed young people to despair. They have told women, immigrants, LGBTQIA plus people, and people of color that their lives are worth less in the eyes of God and in the nation. And they have cloaked fear and hatred in the language of faith. This is not the way of Jesus, the Jesus of Christianity, of the Old and New Testament, and of the Bible, and whom many love and follow. It is not the way of love. The gospel calls us to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, welcome the stranger, and heal the sick. It calls us to humility, mercy, forgiveness, and compassion. Nowhere does it call us to dehumanize, exclude, or oppress. Some of you may say, but we are defending truth. I ask you to consider if the truth you defend leaves people crushed, despised, or suicidal. Is that God's truth? Or is it human fear dressed up in holy words? I know it is hard to admit when a leader has misled us. I know it is painful to realize that someone you trusted may have steered you away from love and towards fear. But you are not your mistakes. You are not your leaders. You are children of God, capable of returning to the path of compassion at any moment that you choose. Look at the fruit of this movement. Broken families, young lives cut short, neighbors turned against neighbors, a nation and a world divided, and the name of Christ dragged through the mud. Does this look like the kingdom of heaven to you? You do not have to stay bound to this. You can choose again. You can choose love over fear, mercy over judgment, healing over division. You can choose to walk the path of Christ, which is always the path of compassion. I urge you, see the harm, not to wallow in shame, but to awaken to love. If you have spoken words that wounded others, you can apologize. If you have followed leaders who misled you, you can turn back. If you have felt trapped in anger or fear, you can be free. This is not about left or right, about Democrat or Republican. This is about love versus fear, the truth versus the lie, life versus death. And may God love you always. And God's love will always be stronger than fear. May this be the moment you choose love right here and right now, with compassion and prayer. And it has not been easy to look at the situation in truth and share that which is the truth, which transcends all bias, all propaganda, all lies. It is so hard to name those who have been the cause and incited such harm, who have caused such division and divisiveness, who have incited such anger and separation. And they claim to do so in the name of a loving God, but yet there is no love in that. In some of my postings this week, I have been called fear-mongering, and they have said, what kind of minister are you? Aren't you supposed to uplift people? Well, in our spiritual journey and in the spiritual awakening process, it's like being born into the world. There is a time of growth and a time of birth, and childbirth is messy and painful. And also to be born spiritually into the awareness of the truth of who we are and as we are called to be can also be painful. And we must speak the truth, because in the truth there is healing. And so I invite you to our blog posts to read those and get up to date with all that has gone on. And it's very sad. The death of one is too many. And our community has been viciously attacked, not only now, but over time. And we bear the weight of that aggression against us for hundreds, for thousands of years since the beginning. Somewhere in some place, to be killed and maimed and beaten and dehumanized and humiliated. How long can a people endure such agony and such terror? So we must rise up, but we rise up in love and compassion to teach others humility by demonstrating and showing them our own self-sacrifice that we have made. And we do that with compassion to help them to grow, to awaken to their own spiritual destiny, to that unconditional love in their heart that is waiting to be grown. There is the seed of love there. There is the seed of God. And it is up to us to help that to grow, to overcome all oppression. And so our title this week, Compassion in Action, Faith and Social Justice. My compassion in action and faith and social justice is showing up for you here now, giving you this message, writing these blog posts and sharing the truth with the world for those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. And so today we gather not just to be comforted by faith, my friends, but to be confronted by it. Compassion is not passive, it is active, and it moves us to speak truth when silence becomes complicity. And truth, no matter how painful, is the foundation of justice. We are living in times where truth is censored, hate is rewarded, and compassion is misunderstood as weakness. But we know better. The blog posts I've written this week come from the fire of that knowing, from a place of righteous love that refuses to look away, although it is difficult and it is painful and it is hard. Knowing that our sacred activism is making a difference in the world. This week in our spiritual calendar, we also call to reflect on the role of sacred activism, where our faith becomes a force for real world change. Can you feel that? Can you feel that deep within you? To be sacred activists is to align our spiritual life with our civic and social responsibilities. It means making a difference, not just in prayer, but in policy, presence, and protest. This is the heartbeat of compassion in action. So know that speaking the truth in love doesn't mean making others comfortable. It means waking up the world to its own soul. Are you ready to wake up the world? Are you ready to wake up? So when we look at what's happening, whether it's Christian nationalism, the silencing of LGBTQ plus voices, or the celebration of supremacy under the guise of faith, we see a deep spiritual illness, a spiritual sickness, a spiritual malady that is riveting this world. From silencing truth and rewarding hate, a blog quote, people are losing jobs, reputations, and livelihoods simply for stating facts, for affirming what is real and grounded in science and faith and love and in humanity. This is not cancel culture. This is control culture. And control is not the same as love. God does not operate in oppression. Let me say that again. God does not operate in oppression. And so compassion is not about avoiding pain. It's about facing it with courage and heart. It's about saying, no more. You may not use the name of God to hurt others. No more. You may not use the name of God to hurt others. This is the heart of the call to love from our second blog. From Hitler to Christian nationalism, we've seen how dehumanization begins with a lie. And the lie is that some people matter more than others. Faith must be a fire that burns away delusion. We do not meet tyranny with tolerance. We meet it with truth and love, and that equals compassionate action. We must call it what it is, no matter how difficult it is. And I applaud those who are speaking the truth and speaking their truth and expressing that which is in their heart of hearts. And it's not pretty sometimes, but there is so much hurt out there. There is anger, and there is hurt, and there is frustration. And people are needing to get that out. If they hold that in their body, it is terribly destructive. It must come out to be healed. So let's just speak plainly that religious persecution disguised as freedom is the gravest spiritual abuse of our time right here and right now. Religious persecution disguised as freedom for some is the gravest spiritual abuse of our time that we are seeing right now in the halls of Congress, in social media, in postings, and the silencing of our freedom of speech and freedom to be and exist. To those who have misguidedly believed that they were doing good while enforcing cruelty, to those who thought they were saving the world while actually deepening its wounds, we say this in love. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Return to compassion, return to spirit. And let us repeat this healing affirmation together. I do not consent to hatred in the name of love. I do not consent to silence in the name of peace. I speak truth, I act in love, I stand for justice. And this is what I charge you with, my friends. Let this be a moment of holy fire, knowing that compassion is not weakness, it is a divine and beautiful force, that justice is not vengeance, it is spiritual balance, that speaking truth is not cruelty, it is courage. So may our actions reflect our prayers. May our faith show up in the streets, in the ballots, in our pulpits, in our parenting, in our pronouns. And let our compassion be unshakable and our truth be undeniable. And from our blog, may every voice that has been silenced be restored in power. May every truth that has been buried rise like the sun. May every heart that has known oppression remember its worth. We speak truth not to destroy, but to heal. We act not in hatred, but in sacred outrage. And we will not stop until every person is free to live in the fullness of who they are. And our final affirmation. My love takes action. My faith is a fire of truth. My spirit moves in justice. I am a sacred warrior of compassion. I am the light that does not flinch. And I did want to share with you some from our blog. This is at universalrainbowfaith.org. From Silencing Truth, Rewarding Hate, the Double Standard in America's Culture of Speech. And let's see. In the recent weeks, we've seen a wave of firings, suspensions, and disciplinary actions against ordinary people who express grief, anger, or criticism after the death of Charlie Kirk. At least 13 or 15, and in some reports more than 30, individuals have already lost jobs or been investigated, including journalists, teachers, corporate employees, and nonprofit workers. And what was their crime? Sharing thoughts on social media about a man who spent his life spreading division, misogyny, and anti-LGBTQ plus rhetoric. They named truths about who he was and what he represented, and for that they were silenced. Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk himself was given endless platforms. His voice was amplified beyond belief by the GOP, the MAGA movement, white Christian nationalists, and even the President of the United States. He was celebrated but not punished for promoting ideologies that endangered women, minority, LGBTQ plus IA people, and the very fabric of democracy. This is the double standard of speech in America today. If you speak out against hate, you risk losing everything. If you promote hate, you are rewarded, pardoned, or elevated. And we remember the fate of Dr. Martin Luther King, assassinated for calling America to its highest ideals of injustice and equality. We remember President John F. Kennedy, taken by violence at a time when he dared to dream of a better world to challenge entrenched powers. We also remember those who spoke out against the Ku Klux Klan and other hate groups, journalists, clergy, politicians, everyday citizens who faced bombings, lynchings, cross-burning, and threats simply because they dared to expose hate for what it was. Many lost their lives, others lived in fear, yet they stood anyway. And now we see that happening again today. Those who call out hate, whether in politics, in corporations, or in our culture, are branded as uncivil or unprofessional. People are fired for naming the truth about dangerous ideologies, and those who spread those very ideologies are rewarded with platforms, book deals, and power. But there is a difference, and this is what we must remember. And I call you now to always remember this, that calling out hate is not the same as spreading hate, that speaking truth is not the same as inciting violence. Doing the work of love and justice is never the same as those who cling to fear and oppression. And we ask ourselves, why was Kirk celebrated? Charlie Kirk wasn't censored because his words serve those in power now. His brand of rhetoric, fear-driven and authoritarian and exclusionary, aligned perfectly with Project 2025, MAGA politics, and white Christian nationalism. These movements see speech as a tool of domination, and so long as that speech serves their goals, it is protected and magnified. And we must pray for healing and a change right now in our government, in politics, because everything is spiritual. There is nothing that is not spiritual, and there is nothing that is not of God. And we have to ask ourselves, well, where is God in all of this? If there is a loving, wonderful, beautiful creator that is there for us, it is up to us to find God in this and bring that to the here and the now. And it is very sad of what we're seeing now. And we have to ask ourselves, well, what must we do? Well, my friends, violence is not the answer, but neither is silence. People feel the way they do not because they lack compassion, but because they have compassion for the oppressed and for themselves as being oppressed. So the righteous anger expressed online is a cry for justice in a country where our rights are being stripped away daily. If we don't listen to that cry, the oppression will only grow stronger. But our resistance must be nonviolent, but it also must be unapologetic. When I think about all of the people who were recently fired, we can look at that on the backdrop of there were 1,500 people on January 6th, insurrectionists, and they were pardoned. And so, how is that when police died and many were injured? It's absolutely terrible. It's insanity. So I believe that those who have been let go deserve full reinstatement and apologies. And I have a letter to corporations. To every corporation, boardroom, and HR department now disciplining employees for speaking their truth. Your role is not to silence. Your role is not to suffocate. Your employees are human beings, not disposable brand risks. When you fire workers for expressing their pain, you're not protecting professionalism. You are aligning yourselves with authoritarianism. You are not denouncing violence. You are endorsing the ideology of oppression that Kirk himself championed. And I call on you now to reinstate every employee who has been unjustly fired, to offer public apologies for the harm you've done and compensation, and to show compassion, not punishment. Recognize that your employees' feelings are rooted in empathy for the oppressed. If you truly want to protect your brands, your precious brands, protect them by standing on the side of truth, not tyranny. Protect them by choosing compassion over control. Protect them by rejecting the agendas that would strip women, LGBTQIA+ people, immigrants and minorities of their rights and humanity. We are living in dangerous times. Voices of truth must not be silenced, nor should we celebrate violence. But we must have the courage to address the cause, not just the symptom. It's time to pray for healing as a nation and act for justice. Until then, every unjust firing, every silenced voice is not just an HR decision. It is a public declaration. You have chosen the side of oppression. And now the world knows where you stand. In the light of the firings, suspensions, and forced resignations following the death of Charlie Kirk, it is necessary to name those individuals who have been unfairly punished for expressing their feelings. Their words may have been raw or angry, but they were born out of compassion for the oppressed and out of grief for the state of our nation. Violence is not the answer, but neither is silencing truth. So we have a list of those who should be reinstated with public apologies offered to them and their families. And we pray for them to be uplifted and healed, to be fully restored and whole. Matthew David, former MSNBC political analyst; Charlie Rock, communications coordinator at Carolina Panthers; Bobby Machado, Fox Sports Las Vegas radio producer; Gerald Bourgeois, reporter for the NBA Phoenix Suns beat; Laura Sosh Lightsey, Associate Dean, Middle Tennessee State University; Mart Civic, Realtor, Las Vegas Incoming Board of Las Vegas Realtors; Ted Berry, Ohio Judge; Joe Burrow, Foundation Board Member; and an unnamed NASDAQ employee, a junior level staffer; educators and academic workers; teacher in Klein ISD, Texas; teacher in Newport News, Virginia; 2 professors at East Tennessee State University; multiple teachers and staff in Tennessee, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Mississippi, and Ohio. And what is the bigger picture? At least 13 to 15 people have been fired or suspended with names confirmed in the press. Reports indicate more than 30 individuals nationwide are facing consequences, with at least 21 educators among them. This is unacceptable. And so let us just have a moment of silence for this terrible incident of violence, and let us take in why this has happened and why we have seen younger and younger shooters and mass killings, not only here in the United States, but in the world. We must get to the root and to heal. And let us just take that in this moment as we take into meditation all that we have contemplated, all that is happening now. Our meditation is the fire of compassion and the light of truth. So close your eyes, take a deep breath in, slowly exhale. Let yourself come fully into this moment. Let your body soften. Let your heart open. Let your soul rise. Now bring your awareness to your heart and breathe into it. Imagine a golden light flickering there. This is the flame of compassionate truth. See it growing brighter with every breath, stronger, wiser, clearer. This is your inner knowing, your sacred clarity. Repeat silently or aloud. I speak truth even when others fear it. I love fiercely even when the world grows cold. Now let that light move gently to your throat, the place where truth lives. If your voice has ever been silenced, if your truth has ever been denied, if your love has ever been called evil, let that light burn away those lies now. And say softly to yourself, I reclaim my voice. I reclaim my power. My truth is sacred. Now breathe that light throughout your body, into your spine, your feet, your fingertips. You are a vessel of truth, a warrior of compassion, a bringer of justice. Let this stillness hold you, and in the silence hear this. You were never wrong for loving. You were never wrong for seeing. You were born for this moment, and you are not alone. And as we return from this meditation, carry this flame of compassion into action. Let truth be your compass. Let love be your weapon. Let spirit be your guide. And so it is. And as we come back to this place and time, wiggle your toes, your fingers, and feel yourself in the place you are now. And we say Amen, Aho, Ashe, and blessed be. And we do have a special reading on reflections from 9/11. And I wrote my book, The Nature of Miracles, after 9/11, 2001, as a way to help people to heal. And This is full of meditations, prayers, affirmations, and channeled guidance. And we've had so much happen this past week on September 10th and September 11th with the ongoing onslaught of daily trauma that we are all facing and having to deal with every day in the news, in the media, not just here, but all around the world. And what can we do about that? October 25th, 2001, Reflections of Peace on 9/11. And the number for the day, 11, is a master teacher, a powerful, highly charged, showing us the way. Hello and welcome. This is my special place, a private place of unending beauty. This is my special garden deep inside of me. Affirmation. I am the flower. I am the sun that makes the flowers grow. I am God. I am you. Last month, on September 11th, 2001, an attack was made on the USA and the people of the world, of the entire universe. 4 planes crashed, killing all aboard. This was a sad and frightening day for Americans and many around the world. My personal feelings have been from the beginning for a peaceful resolution to come. I have prayed for peace, for life, for love, and for the angels to protect this planet from war. What has happened is that many people have died and are continuing to die, but with death does come life. There is a feeling among many I have spoken with that they hoped that we would bomb those responsible for September 11th attacks. It hurt me so much to hear that many people wanted to kill others. Is death the answer? Does war, killing, fighting, and death really solve any problems? Why do we have war? Are there any other ways that work? Yes. The opposite of war is peace. Today I continue to pray for peace. Dear Father, Mother God, the Creator within, I call on you now to come to this place and fill me with light, love, and peace, and our affirmation for peace. I am now immersed in the Holy Spirit of life. I know that peace begins anew in me each moment of every day. From the center of my being, I radiate total light. I imagine this going out now, upwards and outwards, over the entire earth and to the sky and into outer space, and to the great unknown that lies beyond. And I see this light coming back now to the earth and filling up every space, person, thing, and cell of the earth. The entire planet is now renewed in the endless light of God's love. There is perfection, love, and light. A miracle of peace is now taking place right now in this moment. Peace as defined by Webster's dictionary. The condition that exists when nations or other groups are not fighting, the ending of a state of war, the treaty that marks the end of a war. War. Armed conflict between nations, tribes, or other groups, or an instance of this. Who are we as Americans, as a planet? Freedom has been born here and lives here now in our hearts, minds, and spirits. The spirit of America has been built on personal freedoms, yes? What are we to do when others threaten the freedom of our great nation and the world and of our individual sovereignty? We have been building this land up from what it was to what it is. We call it America, the land of the beautiful, the land of the free. And America, it is so beautiful, in a beautiful world. I believe it is our duty to protect ourselves from terrorist forces, inner and outer. But at what cost? I'm not sure. I know that many men and women have given their lives for this country and in this place that I was born. I show my patriotism by giving my patronage and supporting those who serve our country's defense team. We all have our places in the country and in the world. Some play defense, some offense, some just sit on the bench. But let's not forget that we have coaches and referees and those who write the rules. We are a team, a family. Our goal is liberty and justice for all, is it not? I am a part of this team, this family, this collective, not only as an American, but as a global world citizen, a member of the planetary community, as everyone is. And I am a human being, not alone, not special or superior, only a part of the whole, as we all are. And it's okay to be proud of where we came from and who we are, to know where we came from and the full history of our country and people. And although I'm not on the defense or the military team, and although I do not agree with killing others, I know that our leaders and military are making the decisions they feel best for our family. I know that at any given moment that everyone is always doing the best they have with what they know at any given moment. But it does not mean that we're always right. We may even be wrong, although our intentions are good. And as long as God is in the front of us leading the way through our prayers, I know that we're doing the right thing. And now is the time to move beyond thinking that we are an island unto ourselves. In the famous words of John Donne in the early 17th century poem, "No man is an island." No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as if a manor of thy friends or of thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. That is, no man is an island, from a famous line from Devotions Upon Emergent Occasions, a 1624 prose work by English poet John Donne. So there is no division between us and them. There is no us or them. There is only one. I feel a special place in my heart for the United States of America, for it is simply where I was born. But it is important to not use this fact to cause separation from other people, from other places. There is no one place on the planet that is better than another. We're all here to help each other. We are truly one world, one body, one people. Even if all the people on the planet do not feel that way right now, and even if you do not feel that way right now, we must abandon any thoughts of superiority over others and do what we can to help others to grow in awareness of the oneness that is already present and growing on the planet. This is where our salvation as the human race and peace begin and live. This poem and theme, standing the test of time from 1624 to today, popularized over centuries, and in song by Joan Whitney Kramer, 1950, "No Man is an Island." Many covered this song, Joan Baez, Simon and Garfunkel, and it has been inspired the song "I Am a Rock." However, you are moved, whether by the original poem or a modern song, know that you're not alone, that we are not alone, and that you are not an island. I am not an island. And we are one, united together in body, mind, and spirit. And a special channeled message from Spirit. Dear children of the universe, we share with you now all the love that is yours. The angel of peace is now guiding you. Look now to each other's eyes and behold the beauty that you see. For when you look deeply into the eyes of your brothers and sisters, you see yourself. All that you hold to be true of yourself is in your fellow man. Humankind, you are human, and you are more than this. You are spiritual beings of energy, light, and love, having a human experience. You live but a short time on this planet. Making the most of it means doing the work that it takes to truly know oneself and to know God within. Do not hold in your dreams. Do not let others hold you down. The only thing in this life that holds you down is your own mind. It is only in your imagination that enemies exist, and it is only in your imagination that God exists. This means that through the power of your mind, you create your entire reality. You are the creator of your life on this planet and throughout the rest of your eternity. Eternity exists only in your mind. Choose now an eternity with God, the everlasting creator of life, love, happiness, and peace. We allow you now to know the deep inner you, the creative child of God that you are. We allow you to now release all your fears, inhibitions, and self-doubts. You are now more open to receive God's special plan for you. Your heart is now freer of all the pains and hurts of this life and all past life experiences. You are now free to explore this planet and the inner and outer universe. You are free from all negativity. There is nothing more from this point on in your life that you cannot handle with the remembered knowledge that God dwells within eternally. We say, listen now to sweet inner spirit of life that dwells in the inner garden of your being. Peace is now yours eternally. And a closing affirmation. I am immersed in the peaceful spirit of God. From this all-knowing peace, I understand the difference between running away in fear from those who hurt my loved ones or myself, and the fears I may have of standing up for myself in front of negative forces. I now know the importance of facing my fears. Although I may be afraid, I release this fear to God. I now surrender to God to give me courage and strength, and I let God use my body, mind, and soul as an instrument of faith for others to see. I alone do not have all the answers and right actions, but with God I am now being directed by the Holy Spirit of life. I am no longer afraid of enemies, real or imagined, and I no longer lash out in fear or make any move toward these so-called enemies, because with God leading the way, I know that we are all brothers and sisters. No matter our age, we are all children of God, and learning as children do. Children will play, laugh, fight, and grow. I am a child of God, and I unite now in the consciousness of all children on the planet and in the universe. God is the Father and the Mother, the Alpha and the Omega. I no longer feel the need to commit acts of war, violence, or inflict suffering of any kind upon myself or my brothers and sisters on the planet. I know through and through that God will take care of all my needs and will teach my brothers and sisters to play well together. Although I may get angry or sad or feel hurt when one of my brothers or sisters does something that hurts or that I disapprove of, I now allow myself to approach them as our father and mother would, with love and tenderness, as if this fails. And if this fails, I know that God will fix all of this and end all matters of war among his children in a peaceful, calm, loving way that nurtures and allows all children to grow. And we do have to check on our TikTok just a moment. I have to put this tiny piece of puzzle together. Oh, it's very hard to do with one hand. Okay. I will try again. This is the 5th time. Wow, it's hard to do. Oh. Okay, I think I did it. There we go. Otherwise, the live stream was going to end in 3 minutes and 52 seconds. Okay, task complete. So let us just contemplate all of that. We had a longer service today. There was so much we had to go over between September 10th and this terrible tragedy that happened, and September 11th, and remembering what happened. And so let us just take all that in with our special music today. Compassion is the revolution.
And now our special music, a song to remind us that even in the darkest hour, compassion is not weakness. It is resistance. Truth is not cruelty, it is clarity. This is our anthem for sacred justice. This is compassion, it's the revolution. They told us to stay silent, to bow our heads in shame. But we rise with every heartbeat and speak our sacred name. Compassion is the revolution. Truth the fire that sets us free. We won't bow to hate's illusion. We are love and liberty. They dressed oppression with scripture. They crown supremacy king. But we sing with holy thunder and make the angels sing. Compassion is the revolution. Truth the fire that sets us free. We won't bow to hate's illusion. We are love and liberty. To every silent soul, to every wounded heart, we rise, we remember, we restore. Compassion is the revolution. Truth the fame and light the way. We rise in hate solutions. Victory justice lives today. Compassion is the revolution. Truth the flame that lights the way. We are rising in resistance. Sacred justice lives today.
Powerful words that we have heard. Compassion is the revolution. Truth the flame that lights our way. And we are rising in resistance. And sacred justice certainly lives today. And now is our time for tithes and offering. We invite you to our website, universalrainbowfaith.org. And let us do our affirmation. I give boldly, knowing my gift is a seed of justice and a river of love. I give boldly, knowing my gift is a seed of justice and a river of love. You can make your donations and contributions at universalrainbowfaith.org on the homepage on Donate, or go to our donation and tithes page, which links directly to Tithely, and you can set up ongoing reoccurring contributions, knowing that your contributions are helping this ministry to keep up its weekly live streams and also set us up for a beautiful and magnificent new building and new future and global ministry outreach, supporting our LGBTQIA+ community in all ways. And we hope to continue to grow in every good way and be here for you, because we are being called to compassion and to justice, and we are here for you. And our closing blessings. May your voice be bold, may your truth burn bright, may your compassion never flinch. And I thank you all for being here today, and I hope that you continue to grow compassion in your hearts. It's not easy, the time that we're in. And for all those who have been harmed for sharing their opinion and their thoughts, their hurt, their heart that is hurting and outpouring, knowing that it's important that we never condone violence. And it's a very hard tightrope to walk when those who have been harmed or had others in their life who have been harmed by such terrible rhetoric and inhumanity, to find compassion within themselves. But we must extend compassion, our love and thoughts and healing energy to not only the Kirk family, but to the entire white Christian national movement, to MAGA, to the GOP. We must find God within that to bring that seed of compassion out so that that regime may heal and come to know the harm that they have caused and are causing the world, and not just with that group, but there are many groups around the world where people like ourselves will simply be killed and fined and imprisoned for being who we are, where women have no rights, where many others are oppressed. That is where we are called to bring our love and attention to, not just here in the United States, but we are fighting a spiritual malady and an illness that is cloaked often in religion and faith, that someone somewhere is doing the work of their God, but they're not, because it is harming others and causing separation and division. And that is not why we are here. That is not the work of any loving creator, any God of any faith. That is a misdirection of faith and love, completely 100%, and it must be called for what it is. And I call you to use every fiber of your being and strength within your soul to help heal your own family and friends of their wrong thinking and their wrong actions, to heal any violence and anger and hurt, and to use love as the healing force. It is truly with unconditional love that this world will be healed. It is the only reason why you and I are here. It is only to be a demonstration of that love. Unconditional love for oneself and unconditional love for all others is the healing force that will heal all people on the planet for generations to come, and what we must bring into eternity. So with that, blessings, my friends, namaste, and we will see you next week. Thank you.